you're growing. Now you're in boxing promotion. You had Gamboa. And the one thing about that fight that fascinated me was that you worked the phones. You were a promoter. You performed at the show. You played, you used your advantage. You leveraged your advantage of who you were. Do you think that the people that thought that you wouldn't be successful as a boxing promoter saw that value that night?
Absolutely. And they saw that that was the biggest card of the year. Biggest fight of the year would be the Manny Marquez fight. You know, so to position him to come back on that actual card was definitely the right move and position for Gamboa. And he's aware of it because he looks in our direct association, he gets more people that just out of interest.
Right.
Want to say, well, where is he like? Even if, because hip hop coaches are always conditioned for a battle consistently. So when you pick a person like he's like, oh, this is his fighter. Now you're gonna start finding other artists wanting to be associated with fighters. You're gonna start finding they may not necessarily be in it enough to be a promoter of the actual fighter, but some sort of association and work with the actual fighters. And I mean, it comes by way of the aggression necessary to compete on some levels within the culture. I think it speaks directly to the fighters and they internalize it in a different way because it takes their mind off of the discipline involved with performing on that level. How much work has to be done in the actual gym, the music's playing. You know, the road work, the headphones are on, they running, the music's playing.
Right.
You know, so there's a connection, a strong connection with music, culture, and boxing.
Particularly your music.
Right.
You know, In the Club. That is a song you can run to forever. But it's so funny, my man, because Manny Pacquiao works out to Shakira.
Yeah. I mean, some people are passionate about different things.
I've been in the gym with that guy, and it's hilarious, man, because it's just runs so counter to what you would think that a boxer would do.
He actually made an R&B album, though.
Yeah, we
so,
sang together.
Yeah, so he's, you know, you can see him having an interest in that. I can see that.
So it wasn't necessarily an impressive win, but it was a win.
Right.
And it got you started.
And I think it is, well, to win the actual championship is always impressive. He is that level of fighter, the A-grade level of fighter. And what you saw with Manny Marquez is what happens when you got A-level fighters there. When Manny beat Marquez 3 times before that.
Yes.
And my actual scorecards was winning that fight until that punch, because a guy with that kind of professional time and work put into, you know, being that kind of fighter always has a puncher's chance. You know, and it can be down to 1 punch.
It came true that night.
6 seconds left in the round. Marquez nose broke, blood all over the place. Those 6 seconds go by without that overhand right landing. They have to stop the next round.
Was there a little truth to the criticism that, hey, you know, this guy thinks he can come into boxing now because he's been friends with Floyd Mayweather, but it's a lot harder than it looks? Were there things that were a lot harder than they looked?
Well, the old boys club doesn't like anything new. But that old way of thinking is what pushes all of the top fighters towards me.
And you helped them.
Within tradition, the promoters have beat the fighters out of the money. When it's not my primary income, I don't have interest in that. I actually got involved with the sport because I'm passionate about it. And it's actually, boxing is losing.
The UFC, right?
Yeah, the entire sport is losing. It needs new energy, it needs new excitement involved, and it needs a different way of thinking. Like, I only want to be associated with the top fighters because I don't want to have to run. As a promoter, I don't want to have to run from the top talent. So the fighters that come got to be aware that we're going to fight the best fighters. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, and that's just my concept. I don't want to be associated with fighters that are in portions of their career where they're ducking and dodging opponents that they feel like are, you know, stronger than them.
So you're really in this for the long haul. This isn't
look,
flash in the pan.
Originally, the concept comes because I'm kept closer to the actual sport of boxing because my friends are the top fighters in it. And you know, before that, I had a passion for the sport. It just wasn't something that was right in my face every day. Like when I get on the phone and say, hey, what you doing, just to talk. And you go, yeah, but they talking about I'm supposed to fight this person, that, and I'll fight them, but come on, they got to pay the right money.
Yeah.
Like when you're having these conversations, just because when you decide to take a break from what your business is to just talk to a friend, it'll help shape what changes you think can be made to how things work to make, to benefit the entire sport.
In your personal life and in your business, you really seem to have kept your ego in check. How have you done that?
Well, I mean, just staying close enough to people from the beginning. If I was coming up now, I'd find the visual to be more important or as important as the actual song itself.